Let's kick it on. So, good evening. Welcome back. We're back again. This is American British Racing. We've got the British side over here. We've got the American side over here as well. And it's good to see you all in the flesh once again. And thank you for your continued support, to the channel, to the community as a whole. And thank you for Braps for kicking this all off in a great fashion. We still got some sunlight there over in the States. And,
it's a nice one. It's finally like fall weather here in New England, which is cool. And it's been nice. Rich, shout out to Rich, obviously, for setting up the podcast. Vito and Phil, the boys are here. Always good to see. And looking forward to this one. I got something in store for the gang.
Hey, perhaps. Can we waiting? We need to see this, perhaps.
You want to kick it off with that, just to make things interesting?
Well, we've been waiting. We've been waiting.
We've been waiting. You're right. Hold on.
You can't wait for it. I'm already on the beers, so let's do it, baby.
Damn.
I'm getting set up so we can do it.
I forgot to go to the store, G.
All right, I hope this is good with you guys. This is good for me. A little Coors Light action.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, see, we're on the same page. All right, let's get the computer set up for this because I want it to be right about here. See if we can get it to balance. All right, yeah, that should be good. That should be good.
Nice.
All right, do as much as we can. Yeah, can you see me? Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll tilt this up a little so you can see even better. Perfect. Yeah. All right. I promised that I would do this. It's an overdue one, but it's a shoey. I don't even remember why I'm doing this at this point, honestly. I think maybe it was a viewer thing on Twitch, whatever it is. Keep supporting the channel, boys. Thanks for doing everything that you can for ABR, and big up the shoey.
Go on, perhaps. He's going to do it, lads.
Flavor,
He's going to do it, lads.
Voila.
Go on, perhaps. Perhaps is a man of his word. He's done it. Yeah. We waited a long time.
Good. That was as good as Daniel Ricciardo winning a Grand Prix right there.
It tastes sweeter.
Yo.
Cheers. I have nothing left in this. There's there you go. That's how much we didn't get in. Just that teeny little bit.
Good job.
Good with that, perhaps. Nice one, fam.
Nice one, boys.
So with this podcast format, we want to keep it casual. We don't want it to be scripted. We're going to be unscripted. We're just going to catch up about events, F1 related, also about the community, what's going on, what's good, what's coming forward, and what we got to look forward to. So let's kick on with a bit about the F1 this season so far in terms of real life, what's going on in that, and what's been impressing you. So let's just rewind back to Sochi. We had last weekend. What was the main talking points for you? And of course, Valtteri Bottas winning the Grand Prix. A pretty easy day at the office for him. Lewis Hamilton again under the in the stewards room. An inquiry there. Did get their penalties reduced, so he didn't have them penalty points on his license. He could have been facing a race ban, etc. But what was the main talking points from you boys throughout the Grand Prix, and who really impressed you throughout the weekend? So let's kick off with Braps, the man himself.
Sure. Yeah, I think number one takeaway for me is McLaren. I was expecting big things from them, probably fifth and sixth, honestly. I think they were right around there on the pace. Obviously, Ricciardo had a great drive, and so did Perez. So I'm a little bit disappointed in McLaren. Sainz specifically, I think he just made, I want to say, a rookie mistake from a driver who shouldn't be making that error. Disappointed in them. It was good to see Ricciardo and Perez. Ricciardo's been really consistent lately, so that was nice to see him continue that. Perez kind of got back to his older form, if you will, just looking at the front of the grid again. And I know that Lewis's penalty obviously affected a lot of things, but I think Bottas had a great race. I didn't think he was really going to ever come under threat from Lewis. I think he made the right call in qualifying, and it paid off for him.
Yeah. So a few things to take away there. Sainz almost took out his teammate in the process in that turn one. He just kept his foot down, and just spanked the wall, trying to not lose position, but he just ended his race. Norris came on the radio, wasn't too pleased with him as well. Perez, big shout out for him. He didn't have the upgrades on his car. Thanks to Lance binning it in the previous Grand Prix in Mugello. There was only another one set of new upgrades, and that again went to Lance Stroll, who again didn't finish the Grand Prix. So Perez doing exceptional work. Phil, what was your key takeaways from Sochi?
Renault look really fast. They seem to be gaining a lot of time now in comparison to probably back in Spielberg in Austria. Compared to now, their pace is there. Daniel Ricciardo especially. He's really impressed me just on his pace alone. His racecraft's been good. Saw a little bit of team orders from Renault telling Ocon to move out of the way from Ricciardo, which was interesting to see from Renault. But again, shadowing perhaps, very disappointing from Sainz. Rookie error, probably she could have been avoided if he'd have just slowed down a little bit. And I think Bottas overall throughout the course of the weekend probably had the pace to win it. He had the medium tyres. It would have been interesting to see the battle that the Mercedes potentially could have had on the strategies, but a good performance from Bottas and a good performance from Max again as well.
What did you make about the qualifying, Phil? Like Bottas qualified, was it third in the end, wasn't it? Max managed to split both of the Mercedes.
Yeah.
He was quite a way off. Was that strategic, do you think? Do you think that was pre-planned?
No. Bottas had an absolute stinking qualifying for Q3. I think over the first laps, Lewis Hamilton was like 8 tenths ahead. And then Bottas, he didn't improve on his lap. And then that allowed Verstappen to capitalise. I think he finished 5 tenths off of Lewis. Bottas finished 3 tenths off of Max, but I don't think Bottas improved on his second run. He had an issue. But Lewis set the pace early, and I think deserved the pole. Really, it was a brilliant lap, and he won by about 5 tenths in the end.
So Vito, who really impressed you in Sochi, and what was the key things for you in that Grand Prix?
Man, I was a little bit disappointed with that. What happened to Lewis and that, you know what I mean? Because I'm a big Lewis fan, and I thought he might have recovered. From it. But I got to say, to be fair, I was very impressed with Bottas. I think that's the best I've seen Bottas drive in a long time, and he has been a bit unlucky around that track there. So shout out to Bottas, man. I got to give it to him. He looks like he's coming on strong now, and he might be giving Lewis a little run for the title, hopefully. And Max for me as well had a good drive, but got to give it to Bottas, man. He was the man that stood out for me anyway. Like I said, that's the best I've seen him drive in a long time because he has been under pressure. Yeah,
still 44 points advantage to Lewis Hamilton. Number 44 points advantage. There's a lot of things there going on. But Thunder Drummer, I don't know if you can hear us. If you can, give us a shout out and let us know your thoughts on the Grand Prix as well.
I have to say, I have to give it to Danny Kvyat. Even though he started from P11, he really brought out the Russian himself hard. He really had the pace, to be fair. And maybe Daniel Ricciardo, because even though he got his pace, he didn't complain. He just said he would make the gap. So, yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah, so moving forward, the season's really coming to a close pretty quickly. We're already in October now. We've got a few Grand Prix left. It's going to be interesting going to Germany in October around the Nürburgring F1 circuit. And the big news is that the Ferrari boys, the young drivers, shall we say, we've got Mick, we've got Callum Ilott, and we've also got Robert Schwartzman all getting a crack at the whip. And who are you most excited to see? And what drivers do you think that we'll see next season stepping into a full-time role within F1, boys? Kick off.
Yeah, I'll take it because I went first last time anyways. So for me personally, I'm still very new to F1. We've covered this before in previous podcasts, obviously. But I have watched a lot of F2 this year because I'm starting to get more interested in the development of the sport, who's coming up, who's going to be the next guy. I think Callum Ilott is definitely slated for a seat at Haas if they choose to get rid of both drivers. If they keep K-Mag, I think they might go with Perez if he's interested in it. Now, that's not a guarantee on either side, so we don't know that. I think for sure you won't see Giovinazzi next year. We haven't seen enough of him so far through this season, and I don't anticipate he's going to improve at all going forward. So I think you'll see Mick Schumacher alongside Kimi Räikkönen next season, which is huge for his development. I mean, we're talking leaps and bounds beyond most, partners that you could get in an F1 car. He's getting a very experienced Kimi Räikkönen. So that will be good. Schwartzman, I think, will spend another year in F2. I don't think he's quite there yet, and it might be something Alpha keeps in mind after the regulations come in and Kimi decides to step aside. So we'll see what happens, but all three of them definitely look like they're ready to make the jump in the near future.
I'll go next. I think a driver that we look at the Schwartzmans, the Mick Schumachers, the Callum Ilotts, the Giottos, etc., but I think there's another person as well. Guan Yu Zhou, I think, is a very, very talented driver. Obviously, he's only young. Yuki Tsunoda as well. Very, very young driver, but capable of many, many things. I think they've got probably a couple more years in F2 still in them before they see a development. But if they carry on their regular pace, I definitely think that there's definitely promise there. As for the existing F1 drivers, I do agree with perhaps again. I don't think Grosjean deserves a seat next season, and I don't think Giovinazzi's shown enough promise / talent since he joined F1 to warrant a full-time seat. And I think someone like Mick Schumacher can definitely come in and definitely make an impact on the team, especially alongside someone as experienced as Kimi. So yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, Callum Ilott definitely on the scene as well. But yeah, the talent in F2 now is like it's top notch. Like it's like ABR Tier 1. Like you can't separate half of them. They're all really, really, really talented and yeah, are all very capable of seeing F1 in the future.
Yeah, Vito, who's impressed you? Who do you think is going to take the full-time seat?
Me, I'd love to see Mick purely because Schumacher, the Schumacher name has been missing in Formula One for a while. I mean, we know what his dad could do. His uncle was pretty handy as well, so I would really love to see him get a crack at it for sure. And that's about it for me. He's the only one I've been really, really, really keeping my eye on just because of the name. I'm a bit biased, Rich. You know me sometimes. But yeah, Schumacher for me, man.
We'll have our guilty pleasures, no worry, Vito. And Thunder, what are you saying?
Mick Schumacher, I would say. I just hope they can do well in the practice one. I haven't been watching much Formula 2. I've mainly been watching Formula 1, so I hope they can do well in the practice next time. See if they can get near the top 10, maybe. Depends, really.
Yeah. And I think a great point that Phil made was Yuki Tsunoda, with the Honda Japanese driver coming in. I think that could be a great fit, going into that AlphaTauri. It could put Danny Kvyat on edge because Pierre Gasly, come on, you're not going to get rid of this guy now, surely. What a season he's had, what a comeback he's had, after getting dropped, coming back, podium last season, coming back again this season, a win at Monza for the AlphaTauri boys. My God, it's going to be a great next season as well. So, of course, we've got Fernando Alonso as well joining the grid for next season. We're all looking forward to that as well. But do you see any real surprises towards the end of this season? Any shock results? And who do you think is going to be leading the midfield pack come the end of the season, boys? And again, we'll kick off with the boss man himself.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season of performances for drivers. I mean, you look at Stroll back in Austria, and you would have thought that he was slated to be probably in the question for, standout driver of the year. And I just don't think he's lived up to that since. I think for me, obviously Pierre Gasly has been huge. I think Albon's underperformed, but I also think the Red Bull is trickier this year. And then in terms of another driver who's going to probably dominate the midfield next season, I would take a look, honestly, at Sebastian Vettel for his switch to Aston Martin. Keep an eye on him because obviously he's struggled with Ferrari this season, but they are setting up the car more towards Leclerc in the future, which makes total sense. That's Ferrari's direction. No questions asked there. But when Vettel gets to Aston Martin, they're basically going to say, all right, we want you to tell us how to build this car because you know what you're doing. You won 4 world championships. Tell us what we need to do. And I think that we'll see a little bit of a combo between, what Stroll wants, but also what Vettel wants. So keep an eye on him to be standout performer next season.
Again, it's a very, very tricky one. I think drivers definitely to watch out for. I think the first one that springs to mind is Norris. I think with the correct car, with the correct guidance, I think that young man is very capable of doing many, many things. But yeah, I think it's a shame for Perez because I would have said, for next season, Checo Perez and an Aston Martin, I would have thought would have been great. But again, Vettel coming in, he brings that World Championship knowledge, that experience. He can most certainly make an impact. But yeah, Lance Stroll is up and coming. Can he keep the pace? Can he keep the consistency? Can he remain happy in alongside Vettel? I don't know, because assumably he's going to be a number 2. But yeah, I think the likes of Ricciardo, you need to keep an eye on Ricciardo. I don't think you should rule that Renault car out. I think it looks very quick. So hopefully they can get up to speed next season. Of course, it's not going to be called Renault. But yeah, keep an eye out for Alonso. And I definitely think keep an eye out for George Russell as well, because I think he is so up and coming. I think he's got so much talent about him. And I hope his car can improve next season.
What are you saying, Vio?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with some of what Phil was saying, but also I think Fernando Alonso coming back is the big one. What can he do at Renault? Is he gonna discover some of his old form, and push Renault back to somewhere near the front where they used to be? And another person I think we should look out for is Carlos Sainz, man, because he's under the radar a little bit, Sainz, and I think he might do a good job next year, for sure. But in terms of this season, I think he's a man we have to really I have to give him his props, man. I have to really give Sainz his props.
Yeah, well, is he regretting his decision as well, Vito? McLaren are performing, Ferrari, they're nowhere. Absolutely
I know, but
nowhere.
We've seen this in the past, though, Rich, where drivers have gone to a team that seemed to be on the decline, if you like, and leaving a team like McLaren, who's kind of be on the up. But it could work. I mean, it could work the other way. I mean, he could go there and Ferrari's got a car ready for him. Who knows? But he's definitely going to be one to watch, especially with Leclerc.
What's your thoughts, Fanda?
Max Verstappen maybe, because if Red Bull can give him the right car, he could probably be in contention for the championship maybe. And also maybe the McLarens, because now they'll have the Mercedes engine next year, so they might be a threat. So
Yeah, well,
I just wanted to ask a quick question to say perhaps, How well do you think the Aston Martin team and brand will do this year? I mean, next season in F1. How do you see them shaping up?
Man, it's a tough call. I mean, it's a really tough call because obviously you've seen new teams come at F1 and you see what happens. Generally, they're not up to speed the first season. Now, basically, Aston Martin is just being rebranded from Racing Point. So they have a starting place, which is nice to know. And Aston Martin will obviously bring in features that Racing Point didn't have in the past. So that's very entertaining for them. I don't think it changes much. I think they're pretty much going to get right off in the same spot they did this year, and it won't be too much of a factor.
Yeah, for me, it's all about 2022, and Aston Martin are really going to be gearing up. You know, their facilities, everything back at the factory. There's a lot of investment going on there, and it's a long-term project, and that's why they brought Vettel in to build that 2022 car, to really understand the concept about it and have, you know, a driver with great experience. Lance will learn a great deal from the four-time champ, Sebastian Vettel, who's still as hungry as ever.
I
think,
agree.
you know, the relationship with Ferrari has soured, you know, significantly since Leclerc came in and started, you know, to beat him early on in his career. And I think we'll see Sebastian in a more comfortable environment and a bit more happier Sebastian as well in the car. So that's definitely going to be one to watch out for. But going, you know, towards the end of the season, Lewis looks unstoppable unless the FIA try to, you know, put roadblocks in his way. I can't see anything else really happening. Can you, boys?
No, not even close, to be honest with you. I think Bottas isn't there again this year, which sucks to see because there was so much hype, there was so much promise that it would be like a new Bottas this year and he'd be on the pace with Lewis. And yeah, no, Lewis just above and beyond the field and nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree with that because Bottas went away for the winter and came back and said he was rejuvenated and, you know, he knows what it takes to match Lewis Hamilton, but it hasn't happened. So
not enough porridge. Maybe he needs to get back on the porridge or something. You know? You never know.
Yeah, it looks like it's Lewis again, man.
So some exciting races coming up. We've got Portimao, we've got Imola coming up, we've got the old Nürburgring F1 circuit. Which one are you looking forward to most, boys?
It's got to be it's got to be Imola for me, man. You know, it's just something about Imola it's classic racing, Rich, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. Imola is a very hype track. But I'm definitely excited for the next Grand Prix, Nürburgring. It'd be very good to see. It's good to just see some classic memories from them circuits. I just think that so much has happened, and obviously races stopped. This whole 2020 years had a bit of a nightmare. They've called some races off, and the fact that they're bringing old tracks back into the new calendar, I think is amazing. And like Mugello, we don't know what's going to happen. Anything's possible.
I'm just loving the fact that they're bringing some of the old tracks back because a lot of them was full of action, man. I miss a lot of them. Turkey was a track that really stood out for me. I love that track.
So if you didn't know, you can get a ticket for about £3 to go to the Turkish Grand Prix. But it's getting stuck there. Yeah. For me, it's going to be Portimao. A lot of drivers, experienced drivers, have said it's one of the best roller coaster rides because the undulation, the high speed corners, the banking, it's going to be a real thriller for the drivers. And I think that's going to show the men from the boys. But what do you think, Thunder and Burps?
The next one, Grand Prix, to be fair, that might be really good. And probably Turkey. I thought they were going to go to it. It will probably bring a lot of memories back to Vettel with his crash there. But
yeah. I'm excited for Portimao. Never seen it before, ever. So I've caught it in glimpses, but I'm excited to see what the racing looks like. For me, Nürburgring GP circuit is unbelievable. Turn 1 and turn 5 or 6 are great overtaking opportunities. There's plenty of space on the Nürburgring track as well. I think that's good for the modern era cars. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just going to be a good end to the season because we don't really know what to expect at this point, except for that Lewis will win.
For me, this whole season has been like a bonus round, It's just been completely like a curveball thrown in, like new tracks, like you don't know what's coming up next. And COVID is sort of treated us. It's been a bit of a weird season in that respect. But it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be tasty. So let's talk a bit about ABR now, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, how far have we come? I mean, the league is still young, so young. And perhaps, what's on the horizon for you? What do you want to see from the channel going forward? And what's been the key takeaways so far in the early stages of this young life of ABR?
It's been crazy. It's crazy that it's come along as far as it has in such a short period. I'll get the first, well, I guess you've already had merch up for a little while, but I'm getting the first round of Ezivan merch coming my way soon, so I'll have to show that off. That's a big thing that we've moved forward into. Obviously, the giveaways on the Twitch channel now with the new live stream layover, which has been awesome. If you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out. I think that's huge for the development growth of the viewership in the channel. Obviously, the racing side of things, we're always getting new drivers in. Guys are getting switched into new positions. So just about finding the right balance, the right drivers, who's good for the community. Because obviously, you guys know this. I take great pride in how the community acts and how we act as a whole representing the league. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that's either coming out now or kind of in the works. There are some other things on the horizon I won't get into right now because I'm not sure where they're going. But yeah, plenty of stuff to look forward to still.
Well, this is still quite new to me. It feels like it was only, a couple of months ago where me and Rich just joined into the server and we just started operating from there. But no, it's been quite a long time now. And it's obviously been since the start of our season's just begun. And yeah, I just think it's brought us closer together as a community. As Richie said, the league's still young. And there's still so many things in the pipeline for it. And this is just the start. I mean, you look at how many leagues are just among ABR right now. I don't need to list them. You guys know what leagues we have, but not everyone has that, and I don't think everyone has the kind of spirit and passion for the league as other people do. It's always active every day, the Discord, and it's a friendly community. Just obviously keep it friendly and don't turn it nasty, otherwise you'll get removed. But apart from that, I feel great to be a part of it. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what ABR brings going forward.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very, very exciting future for the sport. Of course, we're like 50% through most of the championships now, and they're really taking shape. Of course, Snipes is dominating as usual in HSA, my league anyway. In CSR, it's a bit tighter. Tier 1, we've got Oxtairs. He's really pushing the boundaries right now. Baraps is keeping them on alerts there as well. But yeah, it's going to be a tight end to the season, and we're always looking for help. Okay, the community is growing at an exponential rate right now. We've got drivers coming in every day to the community, and are we looking to expand tiers? Because I know there's like a lot of reserves into tier 3, etc. Is that something we're going to look at? Maybe perhaps. What's your sort of thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have a couple ideas for next season. I think this season it's tough. I did it last season with Bo, and it's really tough to switch things up mid-season. You got to try to keep, even if a guy's doing great in a championship or someone's really struggling, like sometimes it just makes more sense to leave them where they are, let them develop a little bit, take their lumps, or have a ton of success. Next season for Tier 1, this isn't confirmed yet, but I might think about making it a line-only division, so no assists apart from the racing line. Not sure if that's going to happen yet or not. It's in the works, something that I've thought about because I know some guys who are interested in racing in Tier 1 but would like to see it kind of on an equal playing field. So that might be in the works. If that's the case, we'll see probably a lot of speedy guys from Tier 1 who are running some assists move down to Tier 2, which isn't a bad thing because that makes Tier 2 all the more competitive. Makes it basically another Tier 1, if you will. And then Tier 3 will be able to kind of get stacked. Now, do I want to go for a Tier 4? Not particularly. If we have the drivers for it and I think it's a good idea, we will. But otherwise, you'll probably just see a couple guys either filter out to maybe HSA or CSR, ABR EU or whatever. Because I think we're going to have a really good grid for the beginning of next season.
Well, do you know what? There's so much happening right now. There's, like you said, there's drivers joining left, right, and centre. And do you know what? It's come to a point where we've got so many. Like, obviously, not everyone's able to get their racing fix each week. But for me personally, I would probably go as far as ABR. I probably would open up a Tier 3, but I wouldn't probably go any further than that. Going any further than that it does come with risks, I think, because obviously you need the correct people to run them, and you need to make sure that they're being like officiated properly by someone proper. And of course, it is a lot of work sometimes for all of us who, we all have lives, we all have jobs, we all do stuff, and we can't run everything that's in ABR. We can only run what we can run. But yeah, I'd definitely be interested in opening another tier up. Definitely. It grows the community, grows the ABR family. But as I say, I wouldn't want to risk it too much and go with any more. But yeah, there's definitely plans to expand.
Yeah, man.
Any other ideas from you boys, like how we can really push the channel and like different content, maybe ideas you have?
A big, massive meet-up and get smashed.
Yeah, I know that's who he's going to come with. Yeah, man.
The government lets us.
Yeah.
We don't have to tell him, it's fine.
The restrictions are crazy, man.
Yeah.
No, I would love to. I would love to, like, when all of this is blown over, what I would love, obviously I'd love every single person in ABR. I know that's not going to be quite possible, but I'd just love for one day it's just a massive group of us just to meet up at a Grand Prix, whatever it might be, and yeah, definitely grow this family even further. And as time goes on, you never know. We might be looking at the next Veloce. You don't know.
Yeah, we're doing well, man. You guys are doing well, man. Like I said, I enjoyed the very first time I joined these guys' league. I really enjoyed myself, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it. And I've never had all I've ever had is good things to say about you guys and good things to say about the league. So, man, long may it continue, bro. Big up all of you, man.
I don't want to speak too soon, but I already did set aside some cash for next year to come over to the UK. Hopefully the restrictions are lifted, and then this way we will get our Grand Prix in, all the boys.
He's trying not to smile.
I think
coming. He's coming. Don't worry. He's coming.
Yeah, I'm coming. Don't worry. When I say that I'm going to do something, I always do it. I think the other thing that I'd like to see going forward is, well, obviously we have all this merch coming out. I know everyone can't buy everything, but whatever you can do to support the league is great. And also just to represent us in another light. I know obviously we race online a lot, and that's one way to get the name out there, but T-shirts, you know, putting your picture on Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, letting people know that you represent the league. That's always a huge benefit, not only to us and the growth, but it gives drivers recognition too. I think that's something that's really important, is getting everybody the recognition that they deserve, because the league's not just about us at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to both next year and the merch rolling out.
Need to grow the merch and promote that. Yo, we need to get some hats on.
I was designing some today.
All right, that's
I've got
good,
some
bro.
snapbacks on the way.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry. All right, it's ready. So it's going to pop off soon. And perhaps we talk about Veloce, yeah, but we've got an esports team. Talk to me. Have we got any fixtures coming up, baby?
We do. We finally have some stuff on the horizon, which is great. Next Tuesday, so 5 days from today, you can watch us take on DPT Esports. That's our first competition. We'll be a 6v6 with them. I know for sure we're doing Japan and Spa. I don't know the third track yet. And then in the end of October, I think it's the 22nd, but I could be wrong, we take on Sync Motorsport from overseas, and I'm very excited to face them. They're a big name team, a lot of quick drivers. Obviously, we have Jasper in Tier 1, who I'm very familiar with at this point. And yeah, so you get a little double dose of ABR Esport action this year, or this month.
Yeah, it's proper. In for some action then, man.
You're going to have a lot of boys cheering you onto the flag, boys, and I'm sure you're going to go and crush the competition. We've got some great talent in the ranks.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one to look forward to. So anything else you want to discuss, boys, whilst you're here? Like, I've been talking, prompting you. What do you want to talk about?
You're the leader, Rich.
Yeah, Rich, man. You're the man, you know? You got the natural. You're the
Perhaps
guy.
kicked all of this off, baby.
Yeah. Hey,
We're
Barats,
all
man,
facilitating this.
Yo, boss man, come on, man. You lead us, man. Come on, boss man.
Yeah.
I'd love to
I've
know.
got my-
Yeah, I'd love to know from you guys what you'd like to see on the horizon from ABR. Obviously, I know, Rich, you run HSA. Phil, you run CSR. Vito, you're just a driver in both of them. What do you guys want to, do for next season to help grow those leagues specifically? Because again, it's, ABR is great, but it's about all the pieces in the puzzle. So.
Well, that's a very, very good question, actually. With regards to what I want to say, do you know what? It's the first time ever I can comfortably say right now, currently, I think things are going so well. Things are smooth. I really like, I really love the ABR setup. And at the moment, I can't think of anything that instantly springs to mind that I'd look to improve about ABR. CSR just potentially expanding divisions, but that's probably as far as I go with CSR now. Maybe the social media side of things, that's probably, I think we need to get just maybe potentially more people involved with it, maybe. With the social media, if anyone was ever interested in doing it. Like, just an example, I got CSR Pez the other day, who never even done any editing in his life. He now controls the CSR Instagram. So I do think we need to be as active as can be on socials as well.
Yeah, and it would be nice if all ABR, CSR, and HSA could all be affiliated with each other somehow, so we could promote each other so basically ABR, CSR, HSA, we're all under one umbrella, so we'll promote each other and push the leagues like that.
Yeah, so we just got to coordinate a bit better. I think, like you say, there's a lot of drivers in the league, a lot of people. It's about giving back as well. A lot of people sit back, they come, they race, they do their thing, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like perhaps he wakes up every morning, bless him. He's got 200 messages.
Salute, brother. Salute again.
Yeah.
That's without the socials. That's without anything else. That's without making the highlights. I think we need to get the CSR highlights out there. I was a bit daunted by it. I used to do a bit of editing and that, but I think if we all do a little, we can all do a lot together as a whole. So if you fancy yourself doing video editing, if you like your Instagram, or if you're good on Twitter, if you fancy yourself as a commentator, anything, there's no silly answer. Reach out to us, any of the division heads, the admin team, just let us know because we need your help. In order to go forward, we're going to need more moderators, people in the chat, people, pushing promotions out there and stuff like that. So reach out to us, boys.
And that's what I'll be using my Instagram page to do, just to promote us, man, bro.
That's all I got for you, boys.
Yeah, same. I've got food to my left, so it smells good.
Love it.
he's dying to eat his food.
Any last words from Thunder Drummer?
Not really. I don't really have anything. I've only been in it for a year, so it's been for about a year. I was there a couple of months ago, I think.
I've got something.
Yeah.
Just before I go, perhaps when is ABR's birthday?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'll have to pick a day because, to be completely honest with you, the way it worked out was, and I'll explain this because I don't know if I ever have before, but I just came up with it one day when I was, so ABR iLethal, who used to be CFM iLethal, and I was originally Barops 15. He said to me, we got to come up with a name for a league if we're going to race on whatever day it was. And I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough. So I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. And then one day I was showering and I was about to go play with him. I was going to race. And I was like, American British Racing sounds kind of cool. So we came up with that. We all changed our gamer tags. And then we ended up when we started the league, we were part of another league. So it didn't really have like an official day. And then one day we did end up leaving. So maybe I'll look for the day that we left and started.
Shower day. I'll say the
shower.
shower.
Shower day was a while before ABR was ABR though.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll do some digging and see what day it was. But anyways, we'll call it like end of March, beginning of April range. We'll figure it out.
But he's got the established date. He's got it. He just needs to remember it.
Thank you, everyone, for your continued support. Let's keep growing this community, pushing it forwards in the right direction. Again, anything you can do to help contribute is, greatly appreciated. And thank you for everyone for their support so far. Let's keep pushing. Forza ABR, boys. Much love, respect. Let's do this again soon. Another thing I want to say is overtake of the month. I want to do it monthly to start with. I'm going to open something up. Okay, let's get it out there on YouTube. I want to make you guys famous because we've got some great talent here, some great moves, and we need to show off. Okay, we need to start showing off the talent a bit more. Okay,
Send it.
See you, boys.
Big up, Baraps.
Peace out.
Big up, salute.
See you, boys.
See you later.
See you.